Good morning. It's 6:03. Oh my gosh. Erin's not in the hospital. Let me clear that up just to start the show. Erin is fine, or as fine as Erin could be. 6:03. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Greg Adams here for Erin today. She is out. He has local news in just a couple of seconds. Plus, let's see, the Saints are awesome and the Cowboys suck. I just don't think it's as bad as people are saying. Plus, there is an event tonight at CenturyLink Center that Matt will, the greatest athletes in the world. The greatest athletes in the world.
Can't argue too much.
Plus, we're going to talk taxes and a couple of other things. Fletcher and sports. No, Matt has sports this morning, plus traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour coming up on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Now that John Schroeder has been elected as Louisiana's new state treasurer, he says he wants to improve the way the state handles finances in a struggling economy. Schroeder hopes to work with the state legislature and Governor Edwards to balance the budget and spend responsibly.
The treasurer, who is the banker for the state, can assist in many ways, although he doesn't get a vote, assist in many ways dealing with the policies of the finances of Louisiana.
Schroeder says the government has become a burden and the state's infrastructure has become unaffordable. Police are searching for a gunman in multiple shootings. Matt Parker has those details.
Police are on the search for a gunman they believe are responsible for at least 3 weekend shootings. The first shooting happened just before midnight Saturday in the 6400 block of West Canal Street. The victim there was shot in both legs. The second shooting happened around 3:30 Sunday morning when a man broke into a home on Burke Circle and shot the victim behind the ear. The third happened around 7:50 Sunday night, and a victim there was shot multiple times. Police believe all three shootings may be connected. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Clifton Long has been arrested for stealing electronics and cash from Southfield School. Employees at the school called police after $250 went missing during their book fair. After a brief investigation, police were able to determine Long was responsible for the theft. They also discovered that Long had stolen iPads, speakers, and other items from the school. Police believe that Long was stealing from the school for years. A viral video from Texarkana has police looking for animal cruelty charges against a man. The Facebook video shows a man abuse a dog in a car, remove it from the car while still striking it, then throwing the animal into the air before repeatedly slamming it onto the roadway. According to reports, the police have already identified their suspect. You will see savings this year for your Thanksgiving dinner. The American Farm Bureau Market Basket Survey estimated it will cost $43.27 on average across Louisiana. Farm Bureau Federation News Director Neil Melancon says that large inventory of turkeys is helping to drive down the prices.
Turkey producers went into overdrive last year. Poultry was doing pretty well and just built up a stockpile of surplus. And, of course, especially here the week before Thanksgiving, they're trying to move that stuff out.
This year's total is $3 cheaper than 2016 for a 16-item meal that includes turkeys and all the trimmings. Melancon says the turkey prices are very low right now. He recommends to shop around and compare. A medical helicopter crash in eastern Arkansas has claimed the lives of all three who were on board. Federal Aviation Administration spokeswoman Lynn Lunsford says the aircraft is flying from Pine Bluff to DeWitt at the time of the wreck. Lunsford says no patients were on board. KSLA is reporting this morning that a Shreveport native was one of the three on board. More information on the crash is expected today. Northwestern State football has parted ways with Coach Jay Thomas after 5 seasons. This past Saturday's game was his last with the Demons. Thomas had informed his players on Friday night and then led his team to a 38-21 win over Stephen F. Austin. Thomas ends his NSU tenure with a 21-36 record. For 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Greg Adams.
Nine past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Time for Monday morning traffic. Here's Ruben.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Linwood Avenue near Mount Zion Road. Be on the lookout for some foggy conditions this morning, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 12 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. The Keel app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. So I'm in here, and Greg's doing the news, and I'm asking Matt questions, which in retrospect is stupid. No, let me rephrase that. I apologize. I'm asking Matt questions about things that happened on Friday.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
With Erin and the chip, the one chip challenge. And have you seen the video yet?
I started watching it before we got on the air this morning, and I was thoroughly entertained.
When did you watch the whole thing?
I did.
Did you think she was going to die?
I thought she was going to lose it at a couple of points, and somehow she turned right at the ship and rode it out. I was impressed.
It was a little different from all the others. Erin on Friday morning took the one chip challenge. The company is Pocky, and And our promotions department, from which department did the $59.95? I told somebody about that last night. I said, you know what that chip costs for one chip? And they said, what? I said $59.95. And they went, that's insane. I said, look, it wasn't my money. But there was the caveat. So I guess it came from promotions or digital or somewhere.
Uh-huh.
But the point being was the caveat that Erin had to eat it, because originally you were here when we were talking about my nephew Brad, who was going to do it.
Yeah.
And Brad is the guy. My nephew Brad. If you know him, you know he puts. I'm not joking, and I know I've said this before. Brad puts Tabasco on his salad. Tabasco. What?
I do that. Well, not with Tabasco. I use Frank's Red Hot sauce, but same thing.
We'll go to Outback, because we go to Outback every Wednesday night and sit at the bar and have dinner and have a couple of beers. And my nephew Brad will order a salad, a Caesar salad, dressing free. First of all, a Caesar without Caesar dressing isn't a Caesar. It's just a bowl of lettuce and croutons. But then for his salad dressing, he asks for the Tabasco. So when we were going to do the one chip challenge, when we're talking about this, he was the one I thought of. And he was gung-ho. Yeah, I'll do that. What could go wrong? I love stuff like that. But then to get the money, it had to, and they made Erin sign a waiver. You saw that.
No, I missed that.
You missed it?
Yeah, I wasn't here for that part.
Made Erin sign. You know, the official, I blank, 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 do a promise not to sue the hell out of Town Square Media.
Basically a hold harmless agreement.
If that's literally what it is. Thank you. So Erin signed the waiver, and the video is on the website at KEELnews.com. And there are a couple of times early on where she literally began to retch. I mean, she was like, oh. Here's an example. If you have a small dog, in my case, I used to have Yorkshire Terriers. And as you know, if you have a 4 or 5 or 6 pound dog, chocolate will kill them. Mm-hmm. They will die. So it was Christmas time, and I had a bowl of candy on the coffee table. And in the bowl was some Hershey's Kisses, you know, with the little string and the foil. Mm-hmm. Well, Gizmo, who was my little boy Yorkie, he got up on his back legs, and when I'm not looking, and he pilfered one of the Hershey Kisses. And I turn around and I see that he's got one, and he's just like gulping it down without chewing. So I know that he, for all intents and purposes, has just eaten a time bomb. And he was still sort of a puppy at the time, and I did not know what to do, so I called Doggy 911. And the lady on the phone says, do you have hydrogen peroxide? I said, yeah. She said, give him a teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide. Be sure that he drinks it and doesn't inhale it, because if it gets in his lungs, it won't be good. And he's not going to want to drink it, and you're going to have to pour it down his throat. And I said, what happens? She said, he will throw up in 20 seconds. And I got the hydrogen peroxide and a teaspoon, and I poured it down his throat. And after about 10 or 15 seconds, he gives you that doggy face. Dude, that was awful. What did you do that to me for?
Why?
And he walks around for about 10 or 15 seconds, and all of a sudden, it's as though he hit a wall. Da-doot, 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 oh. And he just stands there looking at me like, what did you give me? And he literally goes, and then throws up. Pardon me, I know it's early. But the point being, the entire Hershey's Kiss came up with the foil, with the string, and one little incisor tooth mark on the Hershey's Kiss. That was the noise Erin made Friday morning, right?
It was.
She retched the car. I'm telling the two EMTs in the room, they moved toward her. They thought she was a goner.
Wait, you guys had EMTs? I didn't see that in a video.
When we were making reference to the 2 Shreveport Fire Department EMTs, there was Donald and there was Clarence. And they were both here, and they were, I mean, like these, they didn't send rookies, they sent veterans. And they were standing right there in front of the thermostat, ready to go. In fact, at one point when she started shaking real bad, you can hear him on the video. She says, EMT guys, what's wrong with me? And the guy, you can see the guy go, you just ate 1.5 million Scoville units of Carolina Reaper pepper. Your body is rejecting it. And he says, you're just nervous. Oh, okay. But if you have not seen the video, it's on the website, keelnews.com. If you had to describe what you saw, I mean, the first thing anybody said to me was how much Vaseline was on her lips. And it was a lot. I mean, it looked like cake frosting.
I'm watching it again now on because it's the banner video on the Keel Facebook page.
Is
and,
it really?
Yeah, and it's her and her gloves and her hazmat.
She was my buddy Tommy brought her this company he works for brought her a pair of hazmat gloves. I mean, these big black 3 Mile Island looking hazmat gloves, and it is riotously funny. And if you ever saw the video of where she starts crying because she lost the lottery, and I had people after that say to me, "Is she unstable?" If you have any questions about Erin's stability after you watch her eat this one chip, any questions you had about her mental stability will immediately be erased. It's pretty awesome.
It is. It's
19
great.
past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. You did sports this morning, right?
I did.
Okay, Fletch is out. Parkey has sports, traffic, and weather updates just ahead. Let's do traffic now. Here comes Ruben, Monday morning time. Here's traffic, right? Traffic on Keel.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
I said last night, Dak Prescott. Des Bryant is a shell of what he was 2 seasons ago. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 621. Time for sports. Here's Matt.
Despite being down 15 points in the final 3 minutes of the game, the Saints came marching back on the Washington Redskins to win 34-31. The Saints improved to 8-2 on the season and lead the NFC South. The Cowboys, on the other hand, look like garbage. They were handily destroyed by their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-9. It's the worst Cowboys loss in the history of AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys fall to 5-5 on the season. One of the most popular NASCAR drivers of all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., raced his final race Sunday afternoon. After suffering numerous concussions and getting married this past offseason, Jr. made the decision to retire from the sport. He ends his career with 26 wins. In other NASCAR news, Martin Truex Jr. won his first NASCAR championship. At Homestead, Miami, he fought off Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski to win the title. From the Keel Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
Was that supposed to happen like that? I wasn't paying the least bit of attention.
It wasn't supposed to, but it did.
We improvised. We're like Clint Eastwood and Heartbreak Ridge. We improvised, we overcame, and now we're behind. 623, it's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Miss Erin is out today. She will be back next Monday morning. So, WWE comes to CenturyLink Center tonight. Now, does WWE... and there will be 10,000 people there. Does WWE do kind of like the Globetrotters? Do they have, or TSO, Trans-Siberian Orchestra? Do they have like 2 or 3 units that tour the globe or tour the country where there's WWE East, WWE Central, WWE West?
Yeah, not exactly. What they do is Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown are 2 separate brands with their own separate rosters. So Raw works their schedule, and then the SmackDown crew works their schedule. We're getting the SmackDown roster.
See, I don't mean this I don't mean this in a bad way. Do we get the A team tonight?
They're both really good teams, but I would between the two, I would give SmackDown the edge because you got AJ Styles, who's probably the best wrestler in the world.
Seriously.
Seriously.
So the best professional wrestler in the world will be here this evening.
He will. And there's also some other big names. Randy Orton, who's a future Hall of Famer, 13-time champion. He's going to be wrestling tonight. So just some of the biggest names in the company.
Now, you and Adams and a bunch of guys in this building and a bunch of guys I know are huge wrestling fans. In 15 or 20 seconds, if you can, tell me why you think it's so awesome. Because there's people listening who go, their image is still the old Mid-South wrestling black and white done down here at the fairgrounds, and they don't get it. In 15 or 20 seconds, can you explain to me, because I've never been to a wrestling thing. I'm not going tonight. I'm not going to say I don't have interest, but I don't have interest. So can you sell me on it in say less than 30 seconds?
If you want to see some of the best athletics you'll ever witness, you go to a WWE event. What those guys accomplish and can pull off while telling a story, because not only do they do these amazing athletic feats, but they do it while framed within a story, which is it's astounding what they can do. So even if you're not into the actual act of professional wrestling, just watching them work is worth the price of admission.
10,000 people at least tonight, you think?
You never know. Sometimes they have, more or less, but I'd say it's going to be a decent crowd. WWE usually draws a nice house when they come to town, and like I said, if you're on the fence about going, tickets start at like $15, I think.
So there are tickets still available.
There are still some available. There was a lot of stuff going on, and they kind of got behind the ball. But
now, for anybody that might think that this is not big boy sports, WWE, what's the one coming to New Orleans in April? WrestleMania. And we've talked about this a little bit, the economic impact that WrestleMania has. It is literally the second or third behind the Super Bowl, the second or third highest grossing sports event in the world.
It is, and they just released, I think it was on Friday, the economic impact from their last year's WrestleMania in Orlando. It was $186 million brought into the community.
What was that again?
$186 million.
Good Lord.
And the amount of money they bring to town is great. They usually, because, a lot of times they run NFL stadiums, they outsell the Super Bowl. It's just because, they want...
It ends up being, the only difference is the TV rights.
Yeah. That's literally it, is how much money they make off of TV.
Speaking of the NFL, we have to talk about that before the day is over. Specifically, not the Saints, although I'm not sure. Drew Brees is cool. Remind me to retell my Garrett Hartley story.
Okay.
The former Saints kicker, and the story about my dad, because not everybody knows that. I hope the Saints do well, but I'm not sure they're the real deal. Just based, I could be 100. There's nothing more to base this on other than the last 3 or 4 or 5 seasons. The Cowboys are hurting. Oof. But to a greater degree, this civil war that is developing between Jerry Jones and a faction of owners, and Commissioner Roger Goodell and a faction of owners is look, I'm not the first to say this. All the things that the NFL is getting publicity for, all the things that the NFL is in the news for, none of them are good for them. None of them are football related. It's all this extracurricular, take a knee or internal civil war stuff. And I don't think this helps them either. Although they are, come to think of it, I was going to say they are doing everything they can to ward off a strike in the next couple of years. I'm not sure the owners are. I'm not sure the owners want to ward off a labor action in, I think it's 2019 or 2020. When we come back, okay, we've got traffic and weather in just a couple of seconds. Greg Adams here with news for Erin. There is some construction going on around the area, 2 specific buildings going up. And one I know what it is, one I don't. Have you driven by the construction going on, I guess it's still Market Street, maybe Uri Drive, across from the Juvenile Justice Center?
I have not.
It looks like a huge bunker. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but they're working on something, and it's something big. Now, I know a little bit about the owner and the business he's in, but this doesn't look like that kind of building. And the other is the building that is going up on Bert Coons in front of Academy Sports, where literally in about 48 hours, they built a mountain. I mean, they moved some dirt in that is so high. Okay, as you're going down right there, Bert Coons, is it the Lowe's or the Home Depot? I don't know, whichever it is. And you've got, I think you got a Kentucky Fried Chicken on the other side, right there at 49. And you could be going west on Bert Coons, right there on the street. You could see Academy. You can't because of this huge mountain of dirt and building project. I know what that is.
Can't wait to find out.
And I know why it is what it is. 629, it's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Linwood Avenue near Mount Zion Road. Be on the lookout for some foggy conditions this morning, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Clouds, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
News now.
A medical helicopter crash in eastern Arkansas has claimed the lives of all 3 who were on board. Federal Aviation Administration spokeswoman Lynn Lunsford says the aircraft was flying from Pine Bluff to DeWitt at the time of the wreck. Lunsford says no patients were on board. KSLA is reporting this morning that a Shreveport native was among the 3 who were on board. More information on the crash is expected today. A local school employee is in big trouble. Matt Parker has the story.
Clifton Long has been arrested for stealing electronics and cash from Southfield School. Employees at the school called police after $250 went missing during their book fair. After a brief investigation, police were able to determine Long was responsible for the theft. They also discovered that Long stole iPads, speakers, and other items from the school. Police believe that Long was stealing from the school for years. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
It's expected you'll see savings this year on your Thanksgiving dinner. An American Farm Bureau Market Basket survey estimates the cost to be $43.27 on average in Louisiana. Farm Bureau Federation News Director Neil Melancon says a large inventory of turkeys is helping to drive prices down.
Turkey producers went into overdrive last year. Poultry was doing pretty well and just built up a stockpile of surplus. And, of course, especially here the week before Thanksgiving, they're trying to move that stuff out.
This year's estimated price is $3 cheaper than in 2016 for a 16-item meal, including turkey and all the trimmings. Melancon says since turkey prices are very low right now, he recommends you shop around and compare. A viral video from Texarkana has police looking for animal cruelty charges against a man. The Facebook video shows a man abuse a dog in a car, remove it from the car while still striking it, then throwing the animal into the air before repeatedly slamming it onto the roadway. According to reports, the police have already identified their suspect and are awaiting charges. Now that John Schroeder has been elected as Louisiana's new state treasurer, he says he wants to improve the way the state handles finances in a struggling economy. Schroeder hopes to work with the state legislature and Governor Edwards to balance the budget and spend responsibly.
Quite frankly, I don't believe the citizens of Louisiana want to pay more taxes, and I think we obviously have some very difficult decisions to make, but it's things that are going to have to get done.
Schroeder says the state government has become a burden and the state's infrastructure has become unaffordable. WWE SmackDown Live will be at the CenturyLink Center in Bossier City tonight. Champion AJ Styles will appear, as well as Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ric Flair's daughter, and WWE Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, among many others. Tickets for tonight's show are still available through Ticketmaster and start at just $15. The New Orleans Saints won their 8th straight game yesterday in dramatic fashion, rallying from a 15-point deficit late in the fourth quarter to beat the Washington Redskins 34-31 in overtime. Will Lutz kicked his 4th field goal to win it in OT. Running back Mark Ingram rushed for 131 yards and a touchdown, and quarterback Drew Brees threw for 385 yards and 2 scores. Brees on his 8-2 Saints.
You're watching this thing come together before your eyes, and from where this started to where it is now, and we've grown in leaps and bounds. And I think the sky's the limit for this group. We're playing with a ton of confidence. Feel like we got a ton of momentum. You win games like this, and you feel like, man, we can win anywhere, anytime, any way.
The Saints needed a big game from their offense because the defense had trouble stopping the Redskins. Washington quarterback Kirk Cousins threw for 322 yards and 3 touchdowns. For 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Greg Adams.
God, that poor kid.
Whoops. Turned on Erin's mic by accident.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. See, I said Poindexter because, by the way, the Mudbugs won too this weekend. It was awesome. They are really, really playing well. They are leading their division by, I think, 1 or 2 points over defending league champion Lone Star, which is the old Dan Wildfong team from Fort Worth. And your dad was in town this weekend.
He is. He's in town.
Who knows his hockey, and he said, guys play pretty good brand of hockey.
Mm-hmm. It was his first going to the new Mudbugs, and I got him some hooked up pretty good. And
we know a guy.
Yeah, we know some folks.
Yeah,
and he had a blast. So
was he there Friday or Saturday?
Saturday night
with a 5-0 win.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they played good.
They did, and they're goaltenders.
They
If you haven't been to a game yet, those guys that's big boy stuff. Some of the saves they're making,
Historically, the Mudbugs have had, even to the old WPHL and CHL days, have always had great goaltenders. And these two kids they've got, the one kid from Latvia, Gustavs Davis Gregals, is awesome. The other guy, James Durham, is awesome. I mean, these, they can play.
Friday night, that one kid made a save that just blew me away.
Yeah. They're playing well, and they are home again. I think December 13th is the next home game. Off for the holidays, then an extended road trip, but the 13th, I think, which is a Wednesday night. When we come back, go to break here in just a couple of seconds. Buildings going up all over the Arklatex. Is this a good thing? Wait until I tell you the story about the building, what I heard this weekend about the building going up in front of the Academy on Bert Coons. Because you're going to go, yep, that's Shreveport.
Oh, boy.
Because, well, we talk all the time about... No. If I use an analogy, if I tell you a story related to it, it will give it away. So hold on. There's two buildings I want to talk about. Two buildings going up. One, the one in front of Academy where they built a mountain. I mean, they moved in 30 feet high of dirt. Even with the dirt now, you can't see the Academy there from the road. Wow. What's going up? What are they going to build? And then the building going up across from Juvenile Justice Center on, I guess that's Erie Drive or Market Street, wherever. I think that's Erie at that point. And I know a little bit about that one, but that one looks like they're building a nuclear power plant there. 639, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic updates. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
It is 642. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Okay, which one you want to know about first? There's two buildings that intrigue me in their construction. One is the one in front of Academy on Bert Coons, where like one day there was just the Academy sports deal, and then the next day there was a mound. There were all these dump trucks, and dirt and landscaping and excavating, and now they're starting to build something. But literally, there's this. It's like they put whatever this is going to be. It's on a hill in front of Academy, so you can't see the Academy anymore. Then the other one I want to talk about that I don't really know all that much about is the one that's going up across from the Juvenile Justice Center on I guess that's Erie Drive.
I kind of want to hear about Mount Rush Hour first.
Okay. We have talked ad nauseum about how commercial Shreveport is, to a great degree, abandoning the Erie Drive corridor and moving farther south and farther to the east, as evidenced by the new Kroger Center and all of that there at Ellerby and Flournoy Lucas. And the commercial Shreveport seems to be moving in that direction. And I speculate, no, I don't speculate, I have evidence that I'll tell you about, that a great reason, one of the biggest reasons that is happening, that businesses are abandoning Uri Drive, is because they are rent-wise being priced out of that market, being priced out of that area. And I will give you an example. And I heard this story from a very reputable source. And I may be talking out of school, I may not, but you know, you overhear conversations in your day-to-day travel around the Arklatex. So I'm just telling you what I heard. When Strawn's, the reason that Strawn's moved from when they were on 70th there at the corner. You know where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right there, you know, where Relax the Back and Tiger Town and all that other stuff. Well, you know, they moved across the street to the old, what was it, the Good Eats building.
Yep.
On the other side of Uri Drive. And they bought that building. The Gaucher family, they bought that building. The reason that they moved Strawn's from the corner right there on 70th and Uri across the street was because they got priced out rent-wise. Now, how much money, and this is what I heard, and I repeat, from a very reputable source, how much money do you think they were paying monthly rent for that location there at 70th and Uri?
$5,000 a month.
Try again.
Higher?
Try again.
8,000?
Try again.
Wow, more than 8?
Try again.
10?
Try again.
Wow. You're telling me that's more than 10 grand for their spot there?
$13,000 a month.
No wonder they moved. That's almost impossible to make money for a little family restaurant like
So
that.
well, I got news for you. Buddy and them are printing money.
But still,
it's you know, you can. They're doing okay, but the reason, and they bought. I don't know. I think it was around $1 million across the street. But yeah, I mean, they just got priced out of it.
Wow,
Now,
$13,000 a month.
What does that have to do with the Academy? With Academy Sports, they're on Burt Coons. What do you think that building in front of Academy is going to be?
Strip mall?
No. It's going to be Academy Sports.
They're building an academy in front of the old academy.
Why do you think that is?
Rent?
Yes. Academy was renting that building. The rent on that building, and I don't know what it is, the rent on that building on Burt Coons is so high
that they'd rather construct a new building.
They bought the land. This is the story I heard this weekend. That Academy's rent was so high right there that they bought the land in front of the Academy. What's there, a Wendy's right there?
Burger King or something.
Okay, that they bought the land in front of the Academy to build their own academy, a new academy on their own land. And the academy where it is now will become this big vacant building.
That's insane. I mean, it makes sense for them, but it's just crazy that these landowners have priced things so crazy high that businesses are fleeing and willing to just throw down mass amounts of cash so they don't have to pay rent.
So right now, you have the old Strawn's location on 70th at Uri over in the corner. It is empty. Strawn's is across the street in their own building. You've got Academy on Burt Coons building their own building because the rent was too high, and they bought the land in front and said, we'll show you. But that, I mean, drive by there today if you get a chance. It has gone from being, like I said, you could see the Academy from the street, the old building, and they I can't imagine it's like got to be 10 or 12 or 12. I don't know how much dirt weighs, but it has to be multi-tons of dirt just for the excavation job alone. And I have no idea what the opening date is. I don't know what the time frame is, but that's the story I heard.
If they're paying that much in rent, they're probably trying to be ASAP out of there.
The other building is the one that's going up across from the Juvenile Justice Center there on Uri. And my brother Hal told me it's a guy named Tony Kaysen, and he said he thinks he's in the fiber optics business. And I don't know which is kind of the telephone business, I guess. But it looks like they're building, It looks like they're building a nuclear power plant. I don't know I don't know if it's an office building. I don't know too much. I don't know too much about this one. So the Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. I'll say that again. 318-392-1884. And I just know my brother was telling me about that he knows the guy. His name is Kaysen, and that's his building. But it's going to be a huge building, and it doesn't look like an office. It looks like one of those cooling towers at a nuclear power plant. And I have no idea what they're going to do or no idea what it's going to be. Maybe he's branching off into some new venture. I couldn't begin to tell you. But it is not a small undertaking. So we've got 2 new buildings going up. Academy there on Bert Coons in front of Academy. Go figure. And then you've got the Tony Kaysen building, at least that's what my brother said, across from the Juvenile Justice Center there on Uri Drive. At 7:30 or thereabouts, Dr. Nicholas Getters, head of pharmacology at LSU Science and Health and Medical School and Hospital and stuff. And we're going to get an update on his Is Halfway House the proper term for Loving Solutions? Which is the halfway house for, to start off at least, methamphetamine addicts between rehab and re-entering the real world.
It's an amazing cause with, addiction serious, and he's doing his best to get people off of some serious stuff there.
Ooh, gotta go. There's something else I want to talk about too, but I'll tell you guys in a second. 6:49, here's traffic. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
It is, once again, the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Linwood Avenue near Mount Zion Road. Be on the lookout for some foggy conditions this morning, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROW.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Clouds, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Eight before 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ooh, time for sports. Here's Matt.
Despite being down 15 points in the final 3 minutes of the game, the Saints came marching back on the Washington Redskins to win 34-31. The Saints improved to 8-2 on the season and lead the NFC South. The Cowboys, on the other hand, look like garbage. They were handily destroyed by their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-9. It's the worst Cowboys loss in the history of AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys fall to 5-5 on the season. One of the most popular NASCAR drivers of all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., raced his final race Sunday afternoon. After suffering numerous concussions and getting married this past offseason, Jr. made the decision to retire from the sport. He ends his career with 26 wins. In other NASCAR news, Martin Truex Jr. won his first NASCAR championship. At Homestead, Miami, he fought off Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski to win the title. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
Uh, 655, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL, I'll tell you in a second. KEEL app's a free download of Office Furniture Source. Charles Manson died, I guess?
Yeah.
Overnight, something like that. Charles Manson, the hippie cult leader who became the hypnotic-eyed face of evil across America after orchestrating the gruesome murders of pregnant actress Sharon Tate and 6 others in Los Angeles in summer of 1969, died Sunday. He was 83, half a century in prison. Yeah, when that was, I mean, that freaked out America.
I bet.
Well, here's the deal. And I thought about this last night. Here was a guy who was nuts as nuts could be. I mean, his baseline was psychotic. And then it was drug-fueled, LSD and whatever just crazy-ass stuff there was in 1969. And I've never... We'll talk about this more after 7 o'clock. We got Rush coming up. But it's the way that some people are able to literally control the minds of others. And I was going to say I've never known anybody like that. But maybe I have, and I just didn't fall for it. Or maybe I did. 6:56, here's Rush on KEEL.
Last Thursday, some stunning news from the International Energy Agency. The IEA projects that America will account for over 80% of the worldwide growth in oil production over the next 10 years. They're not happy about that. During the same period, the U.S. is expected to produce 30% more natural gas than Russia. It's a good thing Hillary's not in the White House. She'd sell it all to the Russians. The head of the IEA, Fatih Birol, told a UN climate conference that America will become the undisputed leader of oil and gas production worldwide. Did you catch that? The undisputed leader. I guarantee you, folks, if Hillary Clinton was in the White House upholding the Obama legacy as she promised, there's no way this milestone would be reached. During his 8-year run, Obama did everything he could to destroy America's oil and gas production, to appease the wacko global warming crowd, and to manage America's decline. But the American economy and the world economy run on energy from fossil fuels. Wind, solar, all that other clean boutique stuff that liberals love. It can't fulfill anywhere near present-day demands, let alone fuel a robust growing economy. That's why America reigning as the undisputed leader of real energy production matters. It means we're coming back like a rocket, and it wouldn't have happened if Trump had not won. Say, when it comes to identity theft, you have a choice, folks. You can rely on monitoring your credit and checking your bank statements, or you can get LifeLock to see more. LifeLock is able to see things you might not be able to see, like someone getting an online payday loan in your name. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of threats. And if you have a problem, one of LifeLock's specialists will work with you to fix it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But with LifeLock, you'll have identity theft protection that allows you to see more identity threats than you may otherwise miss. Memberships start $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. And you can get a 10% discount by using promo code RUSH. Just call 800-440-4833 or go to lifelock.com and use the promo code RUSH. That's RUSH. 10% off. LifeLock 800-440-4833.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Hearn Avenue and Ford Street. And we have reports of a major accident on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. It has things blocked up on Benton Road, north and south. If you have anything to report to us, let us know at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
KEELAccuWeather.com forecast, kind of foggy this morning, partly to mostly cloudy through the day, barely above 60. Right now, 38 at Keel, 7 o'clock. And it's time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
It's 3 past 7 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. No Miss Erin away today. Greg Adams has local news in just a couple of seconds. Plus, let's see this hour. I'd like to think the Saints are the real deal. I'm just not so sure. And I got a little Saints story to tell you about their Super Bowl year. I know that's a while back, but trust me, it's worth the wait. And Dr. Nick Getters joins us just after 7:30. He's always got some awesome stuff. Fletcher in sports. Wait a second. Matt's got sports. Fletcher's out, traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour. And it's coming up on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Now that John Schroeder has been elected as Louisiana's new state treasurer, he says he wants to improve the way the state handles finances in a struggling economy. Schroeder hopes to work with the state legislature and Governor Edwards to balance the budget and spend responsibly.
The treasurer, who is the banker for the state, can assist in many ways, although he doesn't get a vote, assist in many ways dealing with the policies of the finances of Louisiana.
Schroeder says the government has become a burden and the state's infrastructure has become unaffordable. Police are searching for a gunman in multiple shootings. Matt Parker has those details.
Police are on the search for a gunman they believe are responsible for at least 3 weekend shootings. The first shooting happened just before midnight Saturday in the 6400 block of West Canal Street. The victim there was shot in both legs. The second shooting happened around 3:30 Sunday morning when a man broke into a home on Burke Circle and shot the victim behind the ear. The third happened around 7:50 Sunday night, and a victim there was shot multiple times. Police believe all three shootings may be connected. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Clifton Long has been arrested for stealing electronics and cash from Southfield School. Employees at the school called police after $250 went missing during their book fair. After a brief investigation, police were able to determine Long was responsible for the theft. They also discovered that Long had stolen iPads, speakers, and other items from the school. Police believe that Long was stealing from the school for years. A viral video from Texarkana has police looking for animal cruelty charges against a man. The Facebook video shows a man abuse a dog in a car, remove it from the car while still striking it, then throwing the animal into the air before repeatedly slamming it onto the roadway. According to reports, the police have already identified their suspect. You will see savings this year for your Thanksgiving dinner. The American Farm Bureau Market Basket Survey estimated it will cost $43.27 on average across Louisiana. Farm Bureau Federation News Director Neil Melancon says that large inventory of turkeys is helping to drive down the prices.
Turkey producers went into overdrive last year. Poultry was doing pretty well and just built up a stockpile of surplus. And, of course, especially here the week before Thanksgiving, they're trying to move that stuff out.
This year's total is $3 cheaper than 2016 for a 16-item meal that includes turkeys and all the trimmings. Melancon says the turkey prices are very low right now. He recommends to shop around and compare. A medical helicopter crash in eastern Arkansas has claimed the lives of all three who were on board. Federal Aviation Administration spokeswoman Lynn Lunsford says the aircraft is flying from Pine Bluff to DeWitt at the time of the wreck. Lunsford says no patients were on board. KSLA is reporting this morning that a Shreveport native was one of the three on board. More information on the crash is expected today. Northwestern State football has parted ways with Coach Jay Thomas after 5 seasons. This past Saturday's game was his last with the Demons. Thomas had informed his players on Friday night and then led his team to a 38-21 win over Stephen F. Austin. Thomas ends his NSU tenure with a 21-36 record. For 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Greg Adams.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Time to take a look at traffic with Ruben.
Keep an eye out for a minor accident on Burt Coons Industrial Loop near Westport Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 11 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Miss Erin is away today. She is vacationing where there's lots of water. Not that she swims out too far, but she loves the beach. She loves the view. You do know that when we chide her somewhat about her fear of sharks and how she won't go into the Gulf of Mexico deeper than maybe she'll go in knee deep, but not deeper. It's because she literally is afraid that a shark will grab her and drag her out into the middle of the ocean. I mean, you've got that look on your face.
I was just going to say, she has a tendency to be unreasonable at times.
A little dramatic, perhaps?
Just a bit.
She has I'm not going to say phobia, because most phobias are based on something that has actually happened. But she has a shark phobia that is based, no, she just literally, she'll go to the beach and she'll walk in maybe ankle to mid-calf. But she literally is afraid that some Jaws-like massive great white is going to drag her out off to Cuba somewhere and leave her on the shore. But she'll be back Monday.
Maybe.
With one leg. I brought this up. I didn't know. I didn't know if you were here or not for this. And it was on Facebook last week, and I wanted to mention it to you because it's just so awesome. And our buddy John Andrew Prime had put this up. And it is an ad from the Times newspaper from early November in 1967. And it says the following. Because the 50th anniversary of this date, what's today? It's 50 today. 50 years ago today. Listen to this. Coming to Hirsch Youth Center. Now I assume Hirsch Youth Center and Hirsch Coliseum, I assume that's the same thing. Although the youth center, what was once in the 60s, we moved here in January of 67, and I just was not that aware. So the Hirsch Youth Center may, in fact, I assume it's the Coliseum when you'll see what we're talking about. Coming to Hirsch Youth Center, Saturday, November 20th at 8 p.m. Brought to you by Salisbury Surf Incorporated. In person, direct from England, the Rolling Stones. Only U.S. tour this year.
Wow.
Tickets on sale now at Stan's Record Shops, Southern Made Donuts, and both Lee Martin's. That was a men's store. Both Lee Martin locations. Then here, for KEEL Radio, right here in the newspaper, you've got a little coupon. Order your tickets by mail. And there's KEEL Radio when they were on North Market Street, and you fill it out, and you put the little check in the mail, or money order, I would assume, and they will mail you your tickets to the Rolling Stones. Coming to Hirsch Youth Center, Saturday, November 20th, 8 p.m., only U.S. tour this year. 50 years ago tonight at 8 p.m., Rolling Stones at Hirsch.
That's wild.
Now, the reason I mention that is because, A, it's awesome, and B, since you did such a lousy job last hour at guessing the rent of well, we won't get back into that. That'll be for later. But I want you to guess how much Rolling Stones tickets were.
$250.
There were 2 seating areas. There was general admission, and there was VIP. So for the Rolling Stones, 50 years ago today, tickets now on sale, blank general admission, and blank VIP, and then it says in the ad, tax included. So, what do you think, Bunky? What do you think? Bunko's ladies drinking. What do you think that you paid for a Rolling Stones ticket? General admission and VIP in 1970, 50 years ago today.
I'm going to go $250 and $5.
You're close. Way closer than I thought you'd be because Erin said $30.
No way.
General admission to see the Rolling Stones in 1970 was $450. VIP seating to see the Rolling Stones in 1970 was $550.
Wow. And now if you want to go see the Rolling Stones, you're spending a minimum of $200.
I would imagine that's nosebleed. I would imagine that's way up in the middle of nowhere.
When they played at AT&T Stadium a couple of years ago, I think the cheapest tickets were $100 just to get in the building.
What?
Yeah, at AT&T Stadium to be all the way in the back,
yeah,
a mile high was $100.
We had mentioned late in the last hour that Charles Manson has died. He was 83. He'd been in jail for like about 50-something years. And I don't know, for those of you who might not be old enough to remember that he was a cult leader. And in fact, he had such a grasp, a control on the people who followed him as though he were the high priest of whatever, that later on one of his followers attempted to kill Gerald Ford. Lynette Squeaky Fromm was her name. And two people tried to kill Gerald Ford. I don't know if you remember or not. There were 2 assassination attempts when Gerald Ford was president, right after Nixon. And one was Lynette Fromm, who was a Manson acolyte, and the other one was an elderly lady, well, not elderly, but in her 50s, I think, named Sarah Jane Moore. But I digress. So Charles Manson, they killed, 6? The 2 crimes from that era that shocked America. The 2 crimes from that time that just shocked America. What kind of country have we become? Was first Richard Speck, who was in Chicago, and he killed, I think it was 8 student nurses. And he's still in jail. He's still alive. He's still in jail. And Charles Manson and the mass murder of 6, including actress Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate, thank you. And I saw that this weekend, that Manson had died, etc. And I just wanted to ask you, and to everybody, sort of a rhetorical question. Would that even make the news today? Would that even be a headline? Would that even literally be the lead story? Last weekend, what was it, in Oklahoma, we had the shooting? Not on the heels of the Texas shooting where the guy shot, 3 or 4 people and wounded 8. And it wasn't even the lead. It didn't even make the lead. It was barely in. It was in national, but it didn't make local stuff. We didn't talk about it at all.
I think
if Richard Speck killed 8 nurses in Chicago today, would it even be a headline? If Charles Manson and his cultists murdered 6 people, broke into somebody's house and killed, if it were somebody famous like Sharon Tate, perhaps. But if it's just, pardon me, run-of-the-mill folks like you and me, I'm not sure Charles Manson is even a lead today.
I think Manson would be, but probably anything short of a Manson-esque killer where there's such a odd circumstances and story behind it. I just think that, it happens so often now that we're just, it just cycles through. So unless it's something so strange and odd.
And the other interesting thing is that with those 2 killings, specifically with the Manson murders, is that we immediately 50 years ago attached a demonic and or instant evil to it. And just to show you how we have rejected things religious, things Christian here 50 years later. That doesn't happen anymore either. We're always looking for another reason other than maybe it was just somebody evil. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 19 past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, traffic update coming up now. Here's Ruben.
Keep an eye out for a minor accident on Burcoon's Industrial Loop near Westport Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROW.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Clouds, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Matt. Sports time.
Despite being down 15 points in the final 3 minutes of the game, the Saints came marching back on the Washington Redskins to win 34-31. The Saints improved to 8-2 on the season and lead the NFC South. The Cowboys, on the other hand, look like garbage. They were handily destroyed by their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-9. It's the worst Cowboys loss in the history of AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys fall to 5-5 on the season. One of the most popular NASCAR drivers of all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., raced his final race Sunday afternoon. After suffering numerous concussions and getting married this past offseason, Jr. made the decision to retire from the sport. He ends his career with 26 wins. In other NASCAR news, Martin Truex Jr. won his first NASCAR championship. At Homestead, Miami, he fought off Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski to win the title. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
Did you just get my grimace on camera?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Don't get old, kid. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 24 past 7 o'clock. Keel app's a free download from Office Furniture Source. We did get a text. Richard Speck is deceased. Mm-hmm. He died in, 91?
I think that's what the message said.
I remember I saw the last film or video that I saw of him was from he was in prison and he had boobs. And I'm not joking. He had some sort of... I'm not making this up. Richard Speck was in prison somewhere, wherever it was, and they were talking about the thrust of the story was how in so many institutions, in so many big prisons, that the corruption is so vast, like in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Where they're getting lobster and wine and everything, being shipped in because the guards are on the take. And I'm not implying that guards anywhere are on the take. I'm just saying that in this documentary about federal prison, that they were talking about what could be smuggled into prisoners, and evidently one of the things available to Richard Speck, because he was some guy's this sounds horrible. Richard Speck at this point was some great big guy's girlfriend, and so they were smuggling in estrogen so that he would have boobs. And here he was, this 55 or 60-year-old guy with boobs, and they showed him shirtless, and it was just creepy as hell. So he's deceased also. Mm-hmm. I asked Matt that. So Richard Speck, Charles Manson died this weekend. Do you think Dr. Nick Getters is here? We'll get into your stuff in a second.
Okay.
Do you think either of those crimes would even be a front page story today?
Well, it's hard to say. I think possibly they could be, because with Manson, he killed someone who was famous. She was a famous actress at
Sharon
the time.
Tate, right.
And so I think that might have made the headlines.
But Speck, maybe not so much, huh? I mean, it was just a run-of-the-mill mass murder, just like in America today.
I know. That's just hard for me to take, though. But.
Well, we talked about that. Erin and I had talked about that. And in fact, last week, Yes, it was a week ago today. Let me ask you, because your sense of time may be better than mine. The Sutherland Springs shooting in Texas. How long ago did it happen?
Is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks ago yesterday. So 1 week ago today, I asked Erin that very same question. Remember? Mm-hmm. And she said, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And I said, no, it was a week ago. And she said, what? And I said, it was a week ago yesterday, meaning a week ago last Sunday.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of time has passed already since that, but yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Why do you think that is? I have my own theories. Any idea? Why do you think that is?
It could be information overload.
Yes!
Where we're hit with so much
that the most important thing in the world at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning won't be the most important thing in the world at noon on Sunday.
Right. We used to have to wait for the morning paper to come in order to find out what's going on in the world, maybe a little bit on television, but usually we had to wait for the paper. Now we open up our cell phone and we can get anything anytime.
And it's this constant flow of information, just that story after story after story. And there's no sense of nothing. Everything is equal. Everything is of equal importance, and there's no time for things to absorb. And we are so inundated with this mass, with this tsunami of information. And there is no delineation, if you will, of what is important and what is not. It's just thing after thing after thing after thing, and there's no time to mull over the horrificness or horror of some things.
Right, and if anything is presented that takes longer than 30 seconds, we've lost the audience. They've moved on to something else.
Which brings us to an interesting point. Dr. Nick Getters, the head of pharmacology, toxicology, and neuroscience at LSU Medical Center, and the director, the founder, the chairman, the CEO of Loving Solutions. We'll talk about that in a second. The website is lovingsolutions.org. We'll go to break here, but one of the things, we'll talk about this off the air, i.e., if you go, nah, that's not my field of expertise. But as we have generation, maybe the second generation now, that is inundated, that lives and dies and breathes with the iPhone or whatever. And I read an article and then heard an interview this weekend from a psychotherapist. And he was talking about the short-term and long-term effects of digital addiction. And you are an expert. Your life is centered around the field. All your research, everything is about addiction. So maybe as we get later into the segment with you, I want to talk about that a little bit. If you can sort of explain, if in your studies, if the kind of addiction where literally you'll have people who are Facebook addicts, who are phone addicts, if that's the same kind of rush, if that's the same kind of chemical response, if that's the same kind of literal addiction. Hi, my name's Bob, and you get the idea. Yeah. If that's the same as cocaine or heroin or liquor or meth or anything else. Okay. Dr. Nick Getters is here. That is on the way. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 29 past 7 o'clock. Greg and News up next. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of an overturned 18-wheeler right before the Ada Taylor exit on I-20 eastbound. And we're still keeping a close eye on that major accident on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
A medical helicopter crash in eastern Arkansas has claimed the lives of all three who were on board. Federal Aviation Administration spokeswoman Lynn Lunsford says the aircraft was flying from Pine Bluff to DeWitt at the time of the wreck. Lunsford says no patients were on board. KSLA is reporting this morning that a Shreveport native was among the three who were on board. More information on the crash is expected today. A local school employee is in big trouble. Matt Parker has the story.
Clifton Long has been arrested for stealing electronics and cash from Southfield School. Employees at the school called police after $250 went missing during their book fair. After a brief investigation, police were able to determine Long was responsible for the theft. They also discovered that Long stole iPads, speakers, and other items from the school. Police believe that Long was stealing from the school for years. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
It's expected you'll see savings this year on your Thanksgiving dinner. An American Farm Bureau Market Basket survey estimates the cost to be $43.27 on average in Louisiana. Farm Bureau Federation News Director Neil Melancon says a large inventory of turkeys is helping to drive prices down.
Turkey producers went into overdrive last year. Poultry was doing pretty well and just built up a stockpile of surplus. And, of course, especially here the week before Thanksgiving, they're trying to move that stuff out.
This year's estimated price is $3 cheaper than in 2016 for a 16-item meal, including turkey and all the trimmings. Melancon says since turkey prices are very low right now, he recommends you shop around and compare. A viral video from Texarkana has police looking for animal cruelty charges against a man. Facebook video shows a man abuse a dog in a car, remove it from the car while still striking it, then throwing the animal into the air before repeatedly slamming it onto the roadway. According to reports, the police have already identified their suspect and are awaiting charges. Now that John Schroeder has been elected as Louisiana's new state treasurer, he says he wants to improve the way the state handles finances in a struggling economy. Schroeder hopes to work with the state legislature and Governor Edwards to balance the budget and spend responsibly.
Quite frankly, I don't believe the citizens of Louisiana want to pay more taxes, and I think we obviously have some very difficult decisions to make, but it's things that are going to have to get done.
Schroeder says the state government has become a burden and the state's infrastructure has become unaffordable. WWE SmackDown Live will be at the CenturyLink Center in Bossier City tonight. Champion AJ Styles will appear, as well as Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ric Flair's daughter, and WWE Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, among many others. Tickets for tonight's show are still available through Ticketmaster and start at just $15. The New Orleans Saints won their 8th straight game yesterday in dramatic fashion, rallying from a 15-point deficit late in the fourth quarter to beat the Washington Redskins 34-31 in overtime. Will Lutz kicked his 4th field goal to win it in OT. Running back Mark Ingram rushed for 131 yards and a touchdown, and quarterback Drew Brees threw for 385 yards and 2 scores. Brees on his 8-2 Saints.
You're watching this thing come together before your eyes, and from where this started to where it is now, and we've grown in leaps and bounds. And I think the sky's the limit for this group. We're playing with a ton of confidence. Feel like we got a ton of momentum. You win games like this, and you feel like, man, we can win anywhere, anytime, any way.
The Saints needed a big game from their offense because the defense had trouble stopping the Redskins. Washington quarterback Kirk Cousins threw for 322 yards and 3 touchdowns. For 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Greg Adams.
Good morning at 7:37. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. So basically, let me see if I got this right, and I explained this to somebody this weekend about Nirvana and Foo Fighters and stuff. I said, think of Nirvana as the Beatles and Foo Fighters as Wings. Is that an unfair analogy?
The Foo Fighters are a little bit better than Wings.
No. But the point I'm making is that Dave Grohl, who was in Nirvana, and his current band is Foo Fighters. Mm-hmm. And you can get people to argue generationally whether Wings was better or worse than Foo Fighters, because you're a younger man, and I can see where you go with Foo Fighters. But from a comparison, from the point of is that a misplaced analogy? I don't think so.
No, I would say that's pretty accurate.
Dr. Nick Getters is here. He is the head of pharmacology, toxicology, and neuroscience at LSU Med Center. And your place is called Loving Solutions. The website is lovingsolutions.org.
That's right.
When I described it earlier as a halfway house, that's not the term you used earlier when you've joined us previous.
No, I kind of winced when I heard you say that.
Well, that's what I try to do to my friends.
We look at it as more than that. And when I say we, it's mostly my wife Linda and I are doing most of this now, getting it ready. It's more of a ministry. It's more to teach people a different way to live. People that have been living in their cars or living in the drug scene, to teach them how to live a different way.
It is a decompression chamber for methamphetamine addicts between rehab and the real world. Closer?
That's closer.
Let me know when I hit it now.
Well, it's what I said. It's a new lifestyle, teaching them a new way to live, teaching them about the love of Jesus, and that they can learn to love themselves and not go back to the same culture that they were living in before.
We have talked many, many times. We'll go to break. We'll come back. We will get into the nuts and bolts of this. Not only your research, which is and your life work, your life dedication is to helping people with addictions, specifically methamphetamine. When we come back, and I know we've talked about it before, but there's a lot of people who haven't heard the degree, the depth, the number of methamphetamine addicts in the Arklatex and the devastation that this drug, as opposed to some of the others, has caused. So hold your place. Don't lose your thought. Don't go away. More with Dr. Nick in just a couple of seconds. 7:39. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Just received reports of an overturned 18-wheeler right before the Ada Taylor exit on I-20 eastbound, and we're still keeping a close eye on that major accident on Fenton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Okay, so basically you're really good on the radio when you're calm. When you get worked up, you're great. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Dr. Nick Getters is not only a Jesuit grad. What year, 70?
73.
Okay, so you were ahead of my brother Hal and my brother Bill. You were 73. Hal was 74. Bill was, I think, 77. Pharmacology, toxicology, and neuroscience head at LSU Medical Center. Your ministry,
there you go,
is Loving Solutions, online at lovingsolutions.org. And I don't want to say the cornerstone of your research, but you have the major part of your efforts into the cause, the treatment, etc. of all sorts of addictions is primarily, at this point at least, methamphetamine. And you have talked so many times about the methamphetamine epidemic right here at home.
That's right.
Tell us about that.
Well, ask anybody on the street, anybody that's using drugs, but you can go further. Judge David Matlock called me one day, called my office, and told me that 2/3 of all the cases he sees involving children and involving the drug court are women in their 20s using methamphetamine. His numbers were 2/3 of all the cases where children have to be removed from the house, from the homes. It's due to women using methamphetamine.
Good Lord, man, is it something that is specific to a particular demographic? Is it more men than women? I know before you talked about, and I go, no, that can't be right. You had said before that even when it comes to the economic caste system, that the methamphetamine addiction plague it doesn't break down to one economic area or another.
Not at all. I've had people tell me that you would be surprised the number of lawyers and doctors and people of all professions and people that don't have jobs that use methamphetamine. You would just be amazed if you were out there and saw that culture.
This may be just why. I mean, of all the drugs there are, I guess the first question would be why?
There are at least two major reasons. One is that the Mexican drug cartels figured out that they could make a huge profit.
Okay, let's stop a second, and we're going to go off on a tangent here. And I was telling literally two people this story that you had told me, that one of the collateral damages from all these states, Colorado, California, Oregon, legalizing marijuana is that the Mexican drug gangs, specifically MS-13, have shifted from marijuana to methamphetamine production, which explains the drug war against all the biker guys who were making the meth also, why there's this huge drug war going on along the southern border of the U.S. That MS-13, which is a brutal bunch of horrible people, are suddenly now in the meth business.
Well, they can import the precursors from India and from China, get them really cheap, make the really good methamphetamine, the P2P methamphetamine, which is highly pure, 99% pure, and ship tons of it across the border. And it doesn't take a ton for someone to get high on it, and they're making huge profits.
The profit margin is so high; it's so much cheaper to make, etc.
And there's no growing season. With marijuana, they have to grow it. With cocaine, they have to grow the plant that makes cocaine. With methamphetamine, they mix a bunch of chemicals together in a super lab and ship it across the border.
So literally, the legalization of marijuana that seems to be expanding state to state to state to state is, in fact, making the methamphetamine plague worse.
Maybe. I haven't seen any statistics on that, but it makes sense. They can make a lot more money shipping methamphetamine. And I heard a report out of, I think it was the New York area, that they were finding fentanyl, an opiate, that was laced with methamphetamine, that they're starting to cut some of the opiate drugs with methamphetamine, making it even more dangerous and more likely people will overdose.
I read somewhere, somebody told me, I don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it was you, that if you use meth one time, you're an addict.
That's what they say. They say it's so good. There's such a surge of dopamine that people want to feel that, whatever it is, that feeling again, and they'll do it again and again, trying to search for that initial high they got the first time.
Are the people who would fall into this meth trap, are they sort of predisposed to be addicts anyway? Or is this, I mean, are there people out there that go from 2 martinis to meth in one fell jump?
Yeah, there's not any genetic predisposition for becoming addicted to methamphetamine. It could happen to anybody. Anybody could get addicted to it.
So your ministry, and you've got a house, that's why you can explain, is called Loving Solutions. And the website, let me mention again, lovingsolutions.org. We've got about 2.5 or 3 minutes. Tell me about that. Tell me the status. I know that you're still in the formative stages, yes. but what a, bluntly put, an act of mercy on the part of you and your wife.
Well, we purchased a 4,000 square foot, 5-bedroom, 7-bathroom house on 12.7 acres. And that's where we're going to house women who have struggled with methamphetamine. We're doing everything ourselves. In fact, Linda, my wife, she's doing most of the work. Getting the house ready.
You got a day job.
There were things that we had to do. We had to repair the driveway, and we had people from our church, Westview Christian Church. They came and did that for us. We just paid for the concrete. We've had to repair walls. We've had to repair plumbing, and we're just doing it a piece at a time because we don't have millions of dollars. We just have, tens of dollars that we're trying to put this together. But once we get the house ready, Linda and I have decided we'll put out, it's going to cost $1,000 a month for each woman. And we'll go ahead and do that ourselves to get the first 2 in there so that we can fundraise and get the money that we need because we want to house 8 women there with 2 house mothers, and in the future we want to build cabins and expand on the acres that we have.
What is your time frame for opening? And like I said, the website is lovingsolutions.org. You can find out all about it, and if you would care to make a timely donation, it would be certainly appreciated.
It certainly would, because we're doing this on like a shoestring budget right now.
Well, bluntly put, you put it on your back, man.
Well, maybe, but we hope maybe to have it open by the first of the year. We're like struggling to get everything done, and there's not a ton of money flowing in, and if that changed, we might be able to move quicker.
Well, it is the holiday season, and people are of a generous spirit.
And we are a 501c3 public charity, so everything that you donate is tax deductible.
Dr. Nick Getters, pharmacology, toxicology, neuroscience at LSU Medical Center, and the director, CEO, and putting it on his back at Loving Solutions. The website, lovingsolutions.org. More in just a couple of seconds. 7:50. Here's your money now.
Is news that Mark
$7:52. It's 8 away from 8 o'clock. Time for sports. Here's Matt.
Despite being down 15 points in the final 3 minutes of the game, the Saints came marching back on the Washington Redskins to win 34-31. The Saints improved to 8-2 on the season and lead the NFC South. The Cowboys, on the other hand, look like garbage. They were handily destroyed by their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-9. It's the worst Cowboys loss in the history of AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys fall to 5-5 on the season. One of the most popular NASCAR drivers of all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., raced his final race Sunday afternoon. After suffering numerous concussions and getting married this past offseason, Jr. made the decision to retire from the sport. He ends his career with 26 wins. In other NASCAR news, Martin Truex Jr. won his first NASCAR championship. At Homestead, Miami, he fought off Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski to win the title. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
6 away from 8 o'clock, 1017 FM 710 Keel. A quick segment with Dr. Nick Getters, pharmacology, toxicology, and neuroscience. You do notice, I look at that every time because it's important I get it right at LSU Med Center. What do you know about, because I read an article this weekend, then heard an interview about internet addiction. I know that all of your research is studying addiction and the causes and the cures. I don't know if you, I don't want to say you're qualified to talk about that. Certainly you're more qualified than me. But when it comes to internet addiction, Facebook addiction, how does that work? How is it similar to alcohol or heroin or meth, if at all?
Well, anything that people like is going to increase the pleasure neurochemical dopamine. And people have suggested that if you get a number of increased number of likes on your Facebook posting or on your Twitter feed or something, that stimulates an increase in dopamine and gets people hooked on it the same as if it was meth. I mean, certainly it's not the same amount of dopamine, but it's the same basic principle.
Really? So what have you heard about that as far as, I mean, what would the signs be? What would the physical signs of an a digital addiction be?
Well, I think the best sign to me is if you're driving down I-20 at 80 miles an hour and you look at the driver next to you and they've got their iPhone in front of their face. That to me suggests that perhaps their priorities are out of place.
But I would think that at some point lives, that the day-to-day functions of one's life would sort of be swept aside. How many dirty dishes are in your sink? When's the last time you cleaned the bathtub? Oh, wait, that's my house. But you see the point I'm making.
Right. I mean, you see it all the time. People are walking down the street and their face is buried in their phone. You see pictures on the internet of people around a table and everyone's looking down at their phone. They're not interacting as we are now. They're interacting with some machine in their hands.
Would you even care to speculate on the long-term results that will have on the interpersonal relationship ability of younger generations?
I think, I mean, I thought of this and I'm being hyperbole, but civilization will collapse. People will no longer be able to communicate one-on-one. They'll only be able to communicate by text or by email.
Watch 25-year-olds, see if they look you in the eye ever. Dr. Nick Getters, pharmacology, toxicology, neuroscience, the head of said department at LSU Medical Center. Thank you very much. Great stuff as always.
Thanks for having me.
And don't forget, take a look at Nick's website, lovingsolutions.org.
Thank you.
Let's see. Sean Hannity time coming up right now, and he's on KEEL.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Hey, special shout out today to Jackson Jester. Now he's in 7th grade. He goes to Georgia's Peachtree Charter Middle School. Now he was reprimanded recently when he decided to wear a T-shirt that mocked fake news CNN during a class trip to fake news CNN Atlanta headquarters. Now, in a blog post, his father wrote, well, this year when the CNN tour was announced, my son Jackson asked me if I could purchase FNN, Fake News Network, a shirt for him to wear on his field trip. We received a phone call from the principal at middle school this morning informing us that he was forced to change his shirt. He wrote, I am disappointed by the hypocrisy of this decision. By the way, Jeff Zucker, even kids in middle school know that your network is fake news network. This is CNN. And to Jackson, you keep spreading the truth. Good job.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
My friends at LifeLock.com, they want to remind you there is a lot more to identity theft than you may have thought. Now, monitoring your credit or checking your bank statements may offer you some protection, but they only offer a limited view of what's actually going on with your identity. Now, you may not be able to detect if your personal information is for sale, for example, on the dark web, or if someone gets a payday loan in your name, or even if a thief is taking over your 401k or your bank account. But that's why there's LifeLock.com. Now, they use proprietary technology to alert you to a wider range of identity threats. And if you have a problem, well, one of their U.S.-based identity restoration specialists will work to fix it for you. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction of every business, but With LifeLock, they're by far the best. Well, you'll see more identity threats than you may otherwise miss. Join now. You get a 10% discount just by using the promo code Hannity. 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com, promo code Hannity.
The intersection at Hearn Avenue and Greenwood Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
School. 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Miss Erin away today. She'll be back next Monday morning. Greg Adams here with local news in just a couple of seconds. What? Shootings in Shreveport? Yep, Mr. Greg tells us all about that. Steve Parr from American Ground Radio joins us in the 8 o'clock hour. I just can't imagine we can't come up with something to talk about. Plus Fletcher in sports. Wait a second. Matt's here today with Fletcher Sports, traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour and is coming up on KEEL.
banker for the state, can assist in many ways, although he doesn't get a vote, assist in many ways dealing with the policies of the finances of Louisiana.
Schroeder says the government has become a burden and the state's infrastructure has become unaffordable. Police are searching for a gunman in multiple shootings. Matt Parker has those details.
Police are on the search for a gunman they believe are responsible for at least 3 weekend shootings. The first shooting happened just before midnight Saturday in the 6400 block of West Canal Street. The victim there was shot in both legs. The second shooting happened around 3:30 Sunday morning when a man broke into a home on Burke Circle and shot the victim behind the ear. The third happened around 7:50 Sunday night, and a victim there was shot multiple times. Police believe all three shootings may be connected. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Clifton Long has been arrested for stealing electronics and cash from Southfield School. Employees at the school called police after $250 went missing during their book fair. After a brief investigation, police were able to determine Long was responsible for the theft. They also discovered that Long had stolen iPads, speakers, and other items from the school. Police believe that Long was stealing from the school for years. A viral video from Texarkana has police looking for animal cruelty charges against a man. The Facebook video shows a man abuse a dog in a car, remove it from the car while still striking it, then throwing the animal into the air before repeatedly slamming it onto the roadway. According to reports, the police have already identified their suspect. You will see savings this year for your Thanksgiving dinner. The American Farm Bureau Market Basket Survey estimated it will cost $43.27 on average across Louisiana. Farm Bureau Federation News Director Neil Melancon says that large inventory of turkeys is helping to drive down the prices.
Turkey producers went into overdrive last year. Poultry was doing pretty well and just built up a stockpile of surplus. And, of course, especially here the week before Thanksgiving, they're trying to move that stuff out.
This year's total is $3 cheaper than 2016 for a 16-item meal that includes turkeys and all the trimmings. Melancon says the turkey prices are very low right now. He recommends to shop around and compare. A medical helicopter crash in eastern Arkansas has claimed the lives of all three who were on board. Federal Aviation Administration spokeswoman Lynn Lunsford says the aircraft is flying from Pine Bluff to DeWitt at the time of the wreck. Lunsford says no patients were on board. KSLA is reporting this morning that a Shreveport native was one of the three on board. More information on the crash is expected today. Northwestern State football has parted ways with Coach Jay Thomas after 5 seasons. This past Saturday's game was his last with the Demons. Thomas had informed his players on Friday night and then led his team to a 38-21 win over Stephen F. Austin. Thomas ends his NSU tenure with a 21-36 record. For 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Greg Adams.
Nine past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic time is time for Ruben on KEEL.
The intersection at Hollywood Avenue and Juella Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we're starting to see some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687 Road.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twelve past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 1017 FM 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download, presented by Office Furniture Source. Erin is off this week. I can't tell you where she's gone, but she won't go in the water because she's afraid of sharks. No, seriously. Steve Parr from American Ground Radio, heard nightly here on KEEL from 6 till 7, is here. What's up, young man? Happy Thanksgiving in advance.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you. We should show Erin that YouTube video of how to punch a shark in the nose. You see that guy out in Australia had never gone surfing. He goes out surfing. He had already watched a video on how to punch a shark in the nose.
What?
His first time out surfing, a shark attacks him.
He's 1 for 1.
And he punches the shark in the nose just like you watched on the YouTube video, saves his life. He paddles ashore.
Seriously,
he's done.
Yeah, I'm retiring from surfing. I saw the one where the guy punched the crazed kangaroo in the nose.
Oh.
Which is pretty strange looking.
Yeah.
I mean, he falls into like Muhammad Ali's stick and move, and the kangaroo does the same thing. It's so bizarre.
I
They're
saw
both
that.
bouncing up and down.
That was with Yosemite Sam, right?
And he punches the kangaroo in the snout, and it just kind of drops its hands and goes away, going, you win.
That's not how we fight. We
This
use our
is
feet.
not how we do it
We
down
use
under.
our feet, you idiot.
American Ground Radio is heard Monday through Friday here on KEEL from 6 till 7. Mr. Stephen and Louis R. Avalone. Let's start from sort of the end and work our way back in this segment, specifically about, I guess it started with Harvey Weinstein, and then now the latest is Al Franken.
Right.
And then there was another one this morning. Matt, what was the latest? God, who was it? Was somebody else that there was Dustin Hoffman? Was all these accusations of sexual, of rape, of sexual physical attack,
yeah,
of harassment, etc. And you said, because I said to Steve, I said, what do you guys been talking about on the show? And you mentioned the Hollywood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, we can talk about that easy. We can do an hour on that without trying. And then you said, I had a talk with my son this weekend.
Yeah.
And I said, hold on. We'll stop right there. We'll keep it on the radio.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
All right. So you remember Columbine, right?
Right.
The school shooting.
Connecticut, yeah.
As soon as Columbine happened, everything changed in terms of school security. We didn't used to have locked doors in all the schools. We didn't used to have metal detectors in all the schools. We didn't used to have practicing lockdown procedures in all the schools. But 1 week after Columbine, There were so many bomb threats in high schools across the country. There were thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of schools that were shut down 1 week after Columbine because people were calling them bomb threats, and it changed everything. 9/11 comes around, and after 9/11, everything changed in terms of air travel, in terms of terrorism, in terms of security. There are just things that my son has grown up in a post-Columbine, post-9/11 world. He doesn't know what the world is. He's 16. He's 16. Okay. He doesn't know what the world was like before that. I say that because of the Harvey Weinstein scandal, when it comes to sexual harassment, we are now living in a post-Harvey Weinstein world. The world has fundamentally changed, and it's not going back. There used to be a time when allegations would be made, and maybe they would be believed, maybe they wouldn't be believed. Sometimes it would get swept under the rug. Sometimes, you have an impeachment hearing and you still get to continue as president even though you committed perjury. Nowadays, I contend the world has changed, and men need to know the world has changed, and things that men used to get away with, they cannot get away with now, and they need to know it.
Do we now live, in your opinion, do we live in an Arthur Miller crucible world where, it's guilty, Napoleonic, guilty until proven innocent?
It is, well, certainly with Roy Moore, that is the case. Roy Moore has been considered guilty. He's not going to have time in court because the charges that are out there, the accusations, are past the statute of limitations. So his guilt or innocence will never be determined in a court of law. It will be determined in the court of public opinion. And post-Harvey Weinstein, more people think he's guilty than not.
So tell me how you think the world has changed going forward.
So basically exactly what you said, that things that you might have been able to say, I'm sorry for, I shouldn't have done that, will now end your career. Things that you should, and I'm not saying it should have happened in the first place. I'm just saying you need to be aware that the sensitivity to it, that the awareness, and that the pushback against it is stronger than it's ever been before, and you cannot get away with behaving this way in the future. And you need to be careful. And the other thing I told him is, look, as you go off to college, you may end up in a situation. You may go to a party, and now you're at a situation, and that party changes from what you thought that was going to be. You cannot stay in that situation. You have to leave. Otherwise, there will be allegations of sexual assault. There will be allegations of sexual harassment, and it will ruin your future. You cannot put yourself in that situation.
That's already happening. You hear the left refer to the rape culture on campus.
Yes.
And yet the numbers, the facts don't bear that out.
Right.
And yet you see students, specifically male students' lives being destroyed because some student judge, panel, jury, executioner is just because there is a complaint against them with no evidence. And Duke Lacrosse is the big story that backs that up.
That's right. Duke Lacrosse and Rolling Stone magazine with the University of Virginia.
Indeed.
However, I think people are going to be more likely to be believed now than they were, because people are going to be more emboldened to come out, and people are going to be more likely to be believed. The world has fundamentally changed.
Do you think there will be a heightened, on the distaff side, do you think there will be a heightened sense of I have been wronged, where something that maybe a year or 2 years ago would have been overlooked, now it's like a negative reaction to something that might be a harmless and or, I'm not going to say innocent flirtation, but flirtation?
Well, just take the Al Franken story. The accuser, Tweeden, would have never come out with that complaint against a sitting senator had she not felt emboldened by the Harvey Weinstein situation.
But that's not a bad thing necessarily.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's different. I'm not saying increased security at school is a bad thing. It saved lives just last week up in Northern California with the school that did a lockdown.
That was an awesome riff you guys did, by the way.
Thank you very much. That saved lives. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying the world's
different. It's a different thing.
And we have to be aware of it, or it will turn out bad for your future.
The point I had made about that was, and in the wake of all these sort of Hollywood apologies, is the public apologies that may have been written by the harasser themselves, or maybe even their marketing and or PR people.
Right.
And I made the point last week. They always seem to start off with, "I now realize." I now understand.
Yes.
I now get it. And I thought specifically of comedian Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and part of his apology was, I now understand.
Yeah.
And all I could think was, wait a second. Until last Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, you thought when a woman came to your office or hotel room for what she thought was going to be a business meeting, that you thought dropping your pants and, pardon me, masturbating in front of her was okay? That's just a lie. Don't lie to me about that. I now realize, oh my gosh, I was a pantless Saul on the road to Damascus. I thought that was okay. No, he's lying, and they're all lying. And now that they say, I get it now. I have been bathed in the waters of sensitivity. No, he's lying. He's known all along he shouldn't do that. He did it because he could.
But who was he lying to first?
Explain what you mean. No, hold the thought.
Yeah.
And we'll cover that when we get back.
Okay.
I want to explore.
Okay.
19 past 8 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Uri Drive near Southfield Road, and we're still keeping an eye on some backed-up traffic on Benton Road southbound near Shed Road due to a major accident. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Clouds, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty past 8, sports on Keel.
Minutes of the game, the Saints came marching back on the Washington Redskins to win 34-31. The Saints improved to 8-2 on the season and lead the NFC South. The Cowboys, on the other hand, look like garbage. They were handily destroyed by their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-9. It's the worst Cowboys loss in the history of AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys fall to 5-5 on the season. One of the most popular NASCAR drivers of all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., raced his final race Sunday afternoon. After suffering numerous concussions and getting married this past offseason, Jr. made the decision to retire from the sport. He ends his career with 26 wins. In other NASCAR news, Martin Truex Jr. won his first NASCAR championship. At Homestead, Miami, he fought off Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski to win the title. From the Keel Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
Keel Traffic, brought to you by Ace Digital Printing and Equipment. acedigital.biz.
Ace Digital is a Louisiana local wide printing service with over 40 years of problem solving for all your print needs. Make sure your prints are done accurately and right on time. Call 220-8440 or visit online at acedigital.biz.
ShreveportHelpWanted.com salutes the Employee of the Month. The one employee you can't live without. The others, let's just call them Dave.
What are you doing, Dave? We need help with payroll. Doing squats, Mr. Employee of the Month. I'm taking your advice and I'm working my butt off.
That's not what I meant.
Glutes of steel. Feel them. Right here.
Oh, Dave, now I have to call HR. We believe local businesses should be packed with more local employees of the month and fewer Daves. We make it easy to post a job, and it's local, so you won't get spammed by faraway job seekers. ShreveportHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work. ShreveportHelpWanted.com salutes the Employee of the Month. The one employee you can't live without. The others, let's just call them Dave.
Hey, Dave, why is the other Dave chopping down a tree out front? Well, Mr. Employee of the Month, you said you needed some set.
I said I needed that report ASAP, as in right away.
So what does that have to do with the tree?
Oh, boy.
We believe local businesses should be packed with more local employees of the month and fewer Daves. We make it easy to post a job, and it's local, so you won't get spammed.
I mean, I know that's an insensitive thing to say, but part of me, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Miss Erin is away for the week. Steve Parr from American Ground Radio. Weeknights on Keel here 6 till 7. And it was like the Louis C.K. thing.
Yeah.
And he just, I mean, anybody who says, I now realize, whose press release of apology is, I now realize, you're just lying to me. You did it because you didn't suddenly have a flash of righteousness. You've done it all along because you thought, not because you thought you could get away with it, because experience had taught you you could be a horrible person, and you would rather be a horrible person and do what you want because you don't have a sexual pause button.
But I asked you before the break, who was he lying to first? You said he's lying to us, right?
Yeah.
Who was he lying to first?
Okay, you tell me what you mean. Start from scratch. Yeah. Walk me through this.
So you're talking about these people that have done the sexual harassing, that have done the raping in some cases. I now realize.
Yeah, I get it now. Sure, I shouldn't have done this.
Sure, that's a lie. But the first person they lied to was themselves. They were lying to themselves when they did it. They made it up in their mind that it was okay. And I believe the reason they did is because power, that phrase, power corrupts, right? Mm-hmm. There's actually scientific evidence to it. It's not just that power corrupts. Power causes brain damage. Power.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Power
causes brain damage.
There's actually scientific studies that back this up. When you get power, and by the way, it doesn't matter how much power you get. When you get power of any kind, you get promoted to manager at the McDonald's, you've now achieved some power, and it changes the way your brain functions from before you had power to after you had power. And they see this time and time again in surveys and studies. They're doing MRIs on people's brains. They're doing all these different experiments. And as they find out that as soon as you get power, your brain changes the way it functions. And some of the things you lose is the ability to understand other people. You lose empathy. You lose some of the things that actually got you into power in the first place. You lose those abilities. Power causes brain damage. There's only one group of people in all of these studies, and it's a bunch of different ones across universities, across methods. There's only one group of people that consistently show up that are immune to brain damage from power.
Who's that?
People who don't think they deserve the power they got.
Wow.
If you don't feel like you have earned your spot, if you feel like, man, I've been given more than I deserve, that's the only way to prevent this power. So think about Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein believes Harvey Weinstein got everything. Oh, man, look at what I built. Look at what I did. Kevin Spacey, I'm so big. Look at what I've done. Louis C.K., I am a big shot, and I have earned this. I have earned my spot here. When you do that.
But isn't it
it affects your brain.
But at the end of the day, isn't it really, and it's what I always said about Tiger Woods, that life behind the velvet rope is really nice. I mean, it's
good to be the king.
People give you things that you didn't ask for, and I cannot imagine a world. Imagine yourself at the age of 22 or 23 or 25, where you can get everything you want, specifically women, and you don't have to try. Especially if you are this Tiger Woods guy who is basically a golf nerd. Through middle school, through high school, he's got thick glasses, his grades are good, he's a golfer, but he's like 5'11", weighs 130 pounds, and he, by his own admission, was geeky with girls forever. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Tiger Woods may still be geeky with girls. You'll never know, because Tiger Woods doesn't have to try. They throw themselves at him. And in the end, to a great degree, it comes back to the old Catholic act of contrition, the near occasion of sin. How do you react? Look, it's the monks live on a mountain, okay?
Yes, right.
It's you're avoiding the near occasion of sin.
Right.
But the world is a near occasion of sin at the age of 25 in Tiger Woods' case.
But he was told he had earned it. He was told he deserved. Look at what you've done. You've worked hard and you've achieved and you've accomplished.
In his own mind, you're saying that.
How about his manager telling him that? How about his caddy telling him that? Look. When you have that situation, you think you've earned what you've got.
Do you think Louis C.K. is? Do you think he just cast aside whatever sense of right and wrong he ever had? Or do you think he was just a perv from jump?
Sure, he may have been perverted from jump, but he lost his inhibition. And by the way, he said in his
found out he could get away with it.
Yes, but he also he said in that apology email, I've realized now that just because they didn't say no doesn't mean I should have done it. One of the things you lose with power is the ability to read other people. These women were going, I'm not sure I really want you doing that. And he's like, yeah, they're fine with it, because he's lost the ability to read the other people because he believes he's earned what he's gotten. The whole point of this, by the way, if you don't want brain damage, you must consider that you have not earned what you have. That you, instead of being a power absorber, your job is to serve people. If you believe no matter what position you have, you are in that position to serve other people, then you will not fall into this trap. And if you think your job is to serve those comedians that are rising up, you don't take your pants off in front of them in a hotel room.
What's the book? Leaders Eat Last.
Yes.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Steve Parr, he's on American Ground Radio, heard nightly here on KEEL from 6 till 7. Traffic update right now. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Jewella Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on McDade Street near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A medical helicopter crash in eastern Arkansas has claimed the lives of all three who were on board. Federal Aviation Administration spokeswoman Lynn Lunsford says the aircraft was flying from Pine Bluff to DeWitt at the time of the wreck. Lunsford says no patients were on board. KSLA is reporting this morning that a Shreveport native was among the three who were on board. More information on the crash is expected today. A local school employee is in big trouble. Matt Parker has the story.
Clifton Long has been arrested for stealing electronics and cash from Southfield School. Employees at the school called police after $250 went missing during their book fair. After a brief investigation, police were able to determine Long was responsible for the theft. They also discovered that Long stole iPads, speakers, and other items from the school. Police believe that Long was stealing from the school for years. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
It's expected you'll see savings this year on your Thanksgiving dinner. An American Farm Bureau Market Basket survey estimates the cost to be $43.27 on average in Louisiana. Farm Bureau Federation News Director Neil Melancon says a large inventory of turkeys is helping to drive prices down.
Turkey producers went into overdrive last year. Poultry was doing pretty well and just built up a stockpile of surplus. And, of course, especially here the week before Thanksgiving, they're trying to move that stuff out.
This year's estimated price is $3 cheaper than in 2016 for a 16-item meal, including turkey and all the trimmings. Melancon says since turkey prices are very low right now, he recommends you shop around and compare. A viral video from Texarkana has police looking for animal cruelty charges against a man. The Facebook video shows a man abuse a dog in a car, remove it from the car while still striking it, then throwing the animal into the air before repeatedly slamming it onto the roadway. According to reports, the police have already identified their suspect and are awaiting charges. Now that John Schroeder has been elected as Louisiana's new state treasurer, he says he wants to improve the way the state handles finances in a struggling economy. Schroeder hopes to work with the state legislature and Governor Edwards to balance the budget and spend responsibly.
Quite frankly, I don't believe the citizens of Louisiana want to pay more taxes, and I think we obviously have some very difficult decisions to make, but it's things that are going to have to get done.
Schroeder says the state government has become a burden and the state's infrastructure has become unaffordable. WWE SmackDown Live will be at the CenturyLink Center in Bossier City tonight. Champion AJ Styles will appear, as well as Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ric Flair's daughter, and WWE Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, among many others. Tickets for tonight's show are still available through Ticketmaster and start at just $15. The New Orleans Saints won their 8th straight game yesterday in dramatic fashion, rallying from a 15-point deficit late in the fourth quarter to beat the Washington Redskins 34-31 in overtime. Will Lutz kicked his 4th field goal to win it in OT. Running back Mark Ingram rushed for 131 yards and a touchdown, and quarterback Drew Brees threw for 385 yards and 2 scores. Brees on his 8-2 Saints.
You're watching this thing come together before your eyes, and from where this started to where it is now, and we've grown in leaps and bounds, and I think the sky's the limit for this group. We're playing with a ton of confidence. Feel like we got a ton of momentum. You win games like this, and you feel like, man, we can win anywhere, anytime, any way.
The Saints needed a big game from their offense because the defense had trouble stopping the Redskins. Washington quarterback Kirk Cousins threw for 322 yards and 3 touchdowns. For 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Greg Adams.
It is 8:36. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. Erin's away for the week. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Steve Parr, American Ground Radio, nightly here on KEEL from 6 till 7. So I don't forget, what are you guys into tonight and or this week?
Well, we've got our American Mamas. People write in on Facebook all the time, facebook.com/American Ground Radio.
Did a TV station, which one did a video
Channel
on
3,
it?
KTBS.
Tell me about those two. One is Terry Netterville?
Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur.
Okay, Terry I know.
Okay, and she's got that book out that it's got a very long title about tweezing chin when women are dead. It's a great book. I'm working my way through it right now, but it's a lot of fun. And Denise and Terry have been friends. And what I really enjoy about them, Terry comes at things from a very soft, a very sweet, a very compassionate place. And then Denise is able to cut through a lot of it with a humor. It's not, a lot of humor can be very mean, can be biting. Denise isn't. She's got a country flavor to her humor that is it's just the way she says stuff that cuts through it. And I just love the kind of yin and yang between the two of them. But they give out advice, they're answering questions. We've got people writing into Facebook all the time, sending up notes. And some of these questions are really very, very personal. We had one last week with a guy who's had 2 nieces come live with them. And then one of them was dealing with starting to become active sexually, and how does he deal with this? Because he's got a 4-year-old. He's not used to that, and the American Mom has talked about that on air. So it's not just that they say things well. It's that people are starting to trust their opinion, and they're asking them some really important questions.
Would it be fair to say a conservative look, a conservative answer, a conservative view to very contemporary problems?
Absolutely. It comes from a conservative place, but it also comes from a loving and a forgiving place, too.
838, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Steve Parr, Louis R. Avalone, and the what moms? What's it called?
The American Mamas.
The American Mamas.
Yeah.
American Ground Radio. Saw your not your park bench, your bus bench.
Yeah.
Advertising works.
That's what, see, and by the way, we've got some spots coming open. Folks want to advertise on the show. Spots coming open first of the year, and so you can do that too. Just send us an email to American Ground Radio.
American Ground Radio, nightly here on Keel from 6 till 7. When we get back, do I want to tell you, do I want to wait? No. I read a couple of articles this weekend, and basically the question of the author, a middle-of-the-road pundit analyst, is, we are such a divided nation. Where is the voice of unity? Where is the voice that will challenge us to join together and solve our problems on common ground? And my reaction to that was, you're an idiot. I'll tell you why when we get back. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben, traffic time.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Jewella Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on McDade Street near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Clouds, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
It is 8:41. It's 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Erin off this week. Steve Parr, American Ground Radio, heard nightly here on Keel from 6 till 7. Okay, so an article this weekend I read, and it was written by a middle-of-the-road, sort of a not too conservative, not too liberal, just everyday, average pundit, analyst, etc. And the point of the article was that the question was asked, where is the voice of unity in America? We are so divided, the right, and we are so divided, and political dialogue is so harsh and ugly and no holds barred and vicious at this point. Where is this voice of unity? Who will rise up and help Americans find common ground to solve our problems together? And I know what I said going to break. My thought was, well, you're an idiot.
Why were you thinking they were an idiot?
Well, I'm going to throw this out, and I want you to fill in the gaps, and then I want you to respond with what you think.
Okay.
In my mind, the reason that the politics in our nation are so harsh, so ugly, so divided right now is twofold. One, there is actually an active conservative media to stand up against what was for years a left-leaning mainstream media that had no competition, that had no pushback. What's happened as there has been, I don't want to use the term alternative media or alternate media, but conservative media at many levels to push back against the leftist leanings of the MSM, the mainstream media has in fact grown along with the Democrat Party more and more radical, more and more leftist.
Yes.
So, when somebody writes, where is the voice of unity? Where is the voice that will teach us to join hands and sing Kumbaya and solve our problems together? My thought is, when there is an opposing political view that is based on America is an illegitimate, hateful, racist, bigoted, hegemonistic, evil place, how do you compromise with that? How do you find common ground with someone? And I saw the article this weekend, another one. It was on MSNBC. MSNBC host says America founded on hatred and racism. And when you delve into all of these points of view, what it really comes down to is sort of America, going back to the Obama line, America needs to be fundamentally transformed. Well, you know what? Today, when the political left that wants open borders, that wants government-controlled health care, that wants to take control of every aspect of our lives, how do you compromise with people that think this nation, this great nation, is illegitimately founded and should be, if not taken apart brick by brick and be built, to a more extreme point, should be totally destroyed? Where is, you tell me, am I wrong when somebody says, where's that voice of unity? I'm saying there's no unity. Those people don't believe in unity. Antifa doesn't believe in unity. All those people, they don't want unity. They want America in their image of Venezuela.
And you're right that the left has gone further left. As the right came up with their own media, Fox News came in order to compete for viewers, the left moved left. And so they went further left. Things that CNN is in favor of now, CNN would not have been in favor of 25 years ago. There is no doubt that the left has moved left. Yes, the right has also moved right in some regards too. I don't think what we're missing is a voice of unity. What I think we're missing is a voice that stays on the high road, the voice that preaches America. Ronald Reagan wasn't just a unifier because he compromised. Ronald Reagan was a unifier because he said things in a way that people went, yeah, I believe that too. It's not that he compromised with Tip O'Neill. It's that he got the American people to go, that's how I want to be, and Tip O'Neill compromised with him. We don't have a person in leadership anywhere in the country right now that speaks unabashedly pro-America in a way that most Americans go, yeah, me too.
Actually, there kind of is.
Who?
And despite his ability to put people off, to be a little nutty at times, Donald Trump is sort of that guy.
He's not positive. Donald Trump never speaks when he speaks in a positive way, it's about how great he is. Donald Trump doesn't spend time, I talk about this on the show, when someone gives you the high road, take it. Al Franken gave Donald Trump the high road. And instead of Donald Trump taking the high road on that, he goes on Twitter and he says, oh, Al Franken's a perv. And so that allows the left to go, okay, but what about all the accusations against you?
And in a smaller
take the high road.
In a lesser sense, LeVar Ball and the kids coming out of China.
That's exactly right, yes. That's exactly right. He had the high road in that moment, and he didn't keep it. Ronald Reagan would have kept the high road because he would have understood how valuable politically that is.
I'm not going to say there is not a place for the high road, but do you think if Ronald Reagan were elected in 2016 instead of Donald Trump, if the the Ronald Reagan of 1980 were president today, the attacks from the left would be just as vicious.
Sure.
And just as harsh,
yes,
and just as made up, and just as hysterical,
but not as effective.
But those attacks, do you think George Bush 43, do you think he took the high road?
I absolutely do.
And they destroyed him.
his administration, he did not get rid of Donald Rumsfeld fast enough. And then I do agree that the George Bush hates black people from Kanye West was a devastating one sentence attack on the president that was absolutely unfair. But Donald Rumsfeld should have been booted from George Bush's presidency. But George Bush had some of the highest positives of any president in our lifetimes. And if you look at where George Bush's ratings are now, he is still so much higher than Donald Trump. People look back, even Democrats are looking back on George W. Bush with some sense of nostalgia, simply because he did take the high road, and you can see what he did for the troops. You can see what he's still doing for the troops, and you go, that's something I'd like to see.
So in 15 or 20 seconds, in your mind, Stephen Parr's mind, what America needs isn't necessarily unity. What it needs is
a better communicator for what makes America great, that America is great because Americans have greatness within them, and that the job of government isn't to give everybody everything, it's to allow you to let the greatness from you flow for the rest of the country.
Stephen Parr and Louis R. Abalone. It's called American Ground Radio. It's here nightly on KEEL from 6 till 7. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 8:49. Here comes Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Jewella Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on McDade Street near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast kind of cloudy, some fog this morning, cooler today, low 60s right now. It is 46.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
In the wake of all these sexual abuse allegations, have we become a nation that has substituted the justice system for social media justice?
It's hypocritical when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says on Monday that Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore of Alabama should step aside because of recent allegations from other women regarding sexual assault. And yet, there is a sitting U.S. senator who stands indicted and stands trial for bribery and corruption in New Jersey, and we hear complete crickets.
We replaced a jury of our peers with a Twitter following.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Hey, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty once again for Twin City Appliance, online at TwinCityAppliance.com. With the holidays rapidly approaching, I'm thinking about this. What better present to give yourself than the gift of new appliances without the cost of a new appliance? You know, you've got one of your major appliances around the house, the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator, ice maker, ovens. See, these are all the major appliances that Twin City repairs. And you're thinking, oh, God, a couple of grand for a new appliance. No, for a fraction of the cost, Twin City can make your appliance and or appliances as good as new. Then you got all the money you saved to spend on your family and friends for the holidays. It's Twin City Appliance. Here's the phone number, 318-688-0253. Find out more online just in time for saving for the holidays. TwinCityAppliance.com.
Yes.
856, Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 1017 FM 710 Keel. Erin is out. Steve Parr, American Ground Radio, nightly on Keel 6 till 7. What you guys got tonight? What's number one topic? The topic du jour on AGR.
Well, we got a question in from parents for our American mamas about kids running crazy in restaurants. So we're going to be talking to them about as you're out, at a restaurant, and some other parents that think their kids are treating this like an Olympic event.
Tasers, the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, that's one potential answer. I'm not sure that
Dime-a-tap, the gift. Well, never mind. I digress.
I'm not sure Terry and Denise will go for that answer, but we're going to be talking about that this evening.
They'll come up with ideas of their own.
Yeah.
Louis Avalone, Stephen Parr, and the American Mamas tonight, 6 till 7 on American Ground. Mr. Parr, thank you very much. You killed it, kid.
Thanks
Always
for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
8:57, here comes Kim Commando.
It's Thanksgiving week, and we're focusing on finding the best deals. And the first question to ask is, will Black Friday really be the best day for the best tech deals? Kim Commando with your Monday Consumer Tech Update. What if you could shop only one day this week? Should it be today, or Black Friday, or Cyber Monday? Based on last year's data, the consensus is that there are more online deals to be had on Thanksgiving Day than Black Friday and Cyber Monday combined. If you're buying an iPhone, iPad, TV, headphones, speakers, video games, and appliances online, the best deals are Thanksgiving Day. Black Friday sales begin around 6 p.m. Eastern Thanksgiving night. That's the time to get the deals on Androids, toys, and clothing. Cyber Monday is the day for laptops, traveling, small kitchen appliances, and shoes. And if you don't buy then, sales prices won't be lowered until just before Christmas Eve. Our tech news is updated all the time at news.commando.com. That's KOMANDO. You know, there's a secret for really cutting your printing costs in your small business or home office. Because you know how crazy expensive it is to replace inkjet printer cartridges? And that's why, here at the Kim Commando Show, we rely only on the Epson EcoTank 4550 wireless all-in-one printer. This awesome printer has a huge refillable ink tank. You refill it yourself. This gives us cartridge-free printing. We never have to buy ink cartridges again, and neither will you. And the best part is that the ink tank is so huge that we haven't even had to refill it yet. And we do a lot of printing. This printer comes with enough ink right in the box to print up to 2 years. Get this, that's 8,500 pages without having to buy new ink. Think of how much money you can save each year. Check out the Epson EcoTank 4550 right now. Learn more by going to epson.com/ecotank. That's epson.com/ecotank. Epson, exceed your vision.
The intersection at Line Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Benton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today will be sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 43. Cloud, sun, high 69 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.